welcome to News Insights this morning. A lot of jittery move all the way from ADC into our presidency. ADC just called on every stakeholder that is ready for the coalition to, in fact, come and register with ADC as a party. People saw that as a jittery mood. Now, what we are hearing is presidency saying that Goodluck Jonathan, who left a very vibrant economy in 2015, is not in news, is the cause and reason for the economic collapse we have today in Nigeria. Hello, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Nigerians are laughing at this already. A few people I saw, I said, what are these people talking about?
It's really laughable.
I mean, what are these people talking about? That, I mean, you could accuse Jonathan for just about any other thing. Not that the last time Nigerians could remember enjoying their country is, in fact, what you are blaming or who you are blaming for what they call T-pain unofficially today. Let me start from you, Peter. Philip.
Yes, you see, when I saw that news, like you rightly said, I saw the jittery in the presidency and the statement to be a very laughable statement. And they came up with so many accusations. You know, it's usual with Bayo Naluga to
but this is a tough time to be Bayo.
Yes, so it's very tough time because now what is happening? It is clear that after the statement by Professor Jerry Ghana that Jonathan is coming, it is clear to the president that if he's coming from Jerry Ghana, like we said yesterday, a man of an impeccable character, a man who do not just open his mouth to speak, it's clear to them that Jonathan is likely to run. So what do they need to do? They fed the arsenal they released through Wiki and the wife is not strong enough. So they need to go all out to discredit his person. But they took the wrong route, for crying out loud. Nigerians are aware that under Jonathan, a bag of rice was less than 10,000 naira.
It was 9,000 naira for the entire 5-6 years.
A liter of fuel is below 150 naira. It is below 100 naira. There was 85 naira. And the prices today are there before the masses. A bag of rice has gone up as much as 100,000 naira. And you're trying to crash it to say that you have revived the economy. The naira, the last time under Jonathan, was less than 300 naira. It's under this APC government. It started moving from 350 to now. It up to a point it was up to 1,000, almost 2,000 before it now fell back to 1,005. As a result of the policy of this administration, one of the policy is the removal of the fuel subsidy, which Jonathan intend to remove, and this present government, this government, as led by Tinubu, staged a protest and occupy the street of Nigeria and bring all manner of accusation against Jonathan. And Jonathan stepped down the removal of subsidy. They are the one telling us today that the removal of the subsidy is one of the best that has happened to Nigeria. Same people who condemn the removal, and they are coming to say that it's the same man who stabilized the economy, who built the economy to be the biggest economy in Africa, is the one that is the cause of all the economic failure in this country. Is it not laughable?
Of course. I think it's going to be a very tough task for Tinubu to demarcate Jonathan. Should Jonathan decide to run? It's clear. I mean, all this campaign mode statement from Bayanonoga, Nigerians are not going to listen to those. They know Jonathan as a president. They know Tinubu as a president. No campaign is actually needed. But let's go back to things that are factual. One of the things Tinubu orchestrated against Jonathan in 2012, 2011, 2012, and all the while was the subsidy removal. If there was the protest was even in Lagos. It was a stationary protest, feeding people, calling all the celebrities, everybody ganging up, Wole Soyinka, all of them. You understand? Coming up to spit all the fire they could, and they did. It worked for them. Buhari came on board. Buhari never did better. He also increased the fuel price. Asiwaju eventually came on board because it was his turn. And it was his turn to now raise everything. He raised the dollar amount such that Federal government, we expected not to subsidize the dollar. We don't know if they're still doing that. It's not very clear to anybody. But at the end of the day, when you raise your momentum to this level, okay, now the credit they are taking is that the dollar is stable. It's stable from where? And it's stable at what cost?
Thank you for these questions. As you said earlier, defending this government is going to be a hard sell. Subsidy issue, I still stand with it, what I said some days ago, that subsidy should look at two broad fronts. Nigeria is oil-producing nation, and our crude, we're not importing it, meaning that we have control of the market, of the pricing. What is the cost of producing oil in Nigeria, producing crude? There should be a little markup. You don't think that you are subsidizing our product that we produce locally based on international market. No. Americans don't say grains to Americans based on international market. They say it based on the cost of production. Mm-hmm. So we should look at this thing broadly. They make us to believe that they are doing us favor. No. If we are producing this crude at S price, we could set the markup at 1%, 2%. That cannot equate how much they say in international market. So they did this. They probably had good intention, but they didn't look at the outfalls. There was no plan to mitigate the pains that follows. Yeah. See, this was a long-term plan. What was the short-term plan to mitigate the pains? See, removal of subsidy introduced something hyperinflation. Why? Once cost of production product went up, every other thing reacted to it. Transportation went up, cost of food went up, every other thing adjusted. The chain reaction was too much for this government to handle. And Jonathan had a plan. Then he was willing to remove subsidy based on the cost of how it was produced in Nigeria. The margin which he was trying to introduce then, he could have stabilized our economy without the effect we are having. Then I don't think I has come. He spoke about our naira being stabilized. They said something about Jonathan that he was subsidizing naira. If they could be truthful and factual to you, as of today, federal government is still subsidizing our naira. Before I end up this problem, I'll bring out the fact. Even them that stated it. See, you cannot praise yourself for making our naira market determined. I said this yesterday. China's currency is not market determined. They control their currency. They want you to be competitive. Their country is constantly below dollar. That is why Americans were able to move their production to China. See, every country have to do what works for you. IMF cannot determine for every other country. They don't determine for US. I think they don't determine for UK.
You have said the principal thing there, which if I want to score this government low, it is their inability to understand the difference between long-term measures and short-term measures. And I'm actually hurt back because I think as what you say, an economist or accountant, as an accountant, you can understand that you could have a very high paid up capital, but if your working capital is choked, your business is going to be choked. You need to be alive. You need to be running recurrently. You need to be moving for you to now be able to achieve the long-term measure. You know, like he said, rightly said, the purpose of government existence in itself is for intervention. We call it subsidy, we call it any name. It's intervention. It's those things that connect all of us, not doing them economically, but benefit-wise. That's why government measures are check-based. It's cost-benefit analysis, not exactly cost and profit or like you have in commercial ventures. So let me come to you. One of the reasons why they removed Jonathan, in quote, removed because it was a gang-up, was insecurity. And as at that time, we only had it in Borno State. Even in that Borno State, the election was still conducted in Borno State for that 2015. But now, we have it across all the nation. If Jonathan comes out today, you know, to contest, and he happens to be the one standing against Asiwaju, you know, for 2027, how will Asiwaju face Jonathan to discuss insecurity?
You know, one of the traits character of Asiwaju, he will not undergo a debate with a fellow contestants. He always believes in his strategy. So that question you ask, how will he face Jonathan?
Yeah.
You know he can't stand before Jonathan when you put the issues together. You talk about what was the main criteria of removing Jonathan was insecurity. But don't forget that during it is in this government that local government chairmen, especially in Katsina State, are entering into treaty with boundary to enable their farmers go back to farm. We never had it so during Jonathan. Like we say, it's only in Borno State and not the entire Borno.
Not even the entire Borno.
There are a few local governments, but they took it to the market and demarket the government of Jonathan that is unable to secure lives and properties. We are just being told, may her soul rest in peace. You know, a very vibrant young woman with a young lady with the Arise News.
Yeah, Somtochukwu
was attacked in her residence in Katapi, a very high-brow area in Abuja here, and killed. Where is the security if Abuja is not safe for a person of that, you know,
class,
high class, that her house could be attacked? We're talking about insecurity. Don't talk about the farmers who cannot go to farm. Somebody mentioned yesterday here that before now, if you travel to Benue State, people will be begging you to buy of yam. Yeah. Sometimes they even give to you as a gift. If you buy one, they pack for you because they don't want them to go bad. But today, you can't get a tuber of yam in the street, in the market of Makurdi, not talk of the street of Benue. So this is the situation we are saddled with. So it comes 2027. Like you said, Onanuga is in a campaign mood. He's saying that Jonathan is free to contest his constitutional right, but he will have his day in court. The question I asked Nanuga, if Jonathan contests in 2015 and lose, on what platform did they contest? Which court? Were there no courts at that time he contested? So what has happened? Have they amended the law to say that because he was sworn in twice? Was he sworn in twice as elected president?
No.
Or he was sworn in twice?
Constitutional provision to stand for Nigeria.
To stand in place of the man who
to avoid vacuum.
So let him go to court. Let them face.
He wasn't elected twice.
So the question whether Tinubu can face Jonathan if Jonathan happened to be the person that is contesting against him in 2027, I think that answer is left for the masses.
Yeah, go ahead. Just be very brief.
What they do is they are panicking and he's showing his viewers. If they sincerely believe that Jonathan performed woefully, if they sincerely believe it, and Nigerians shouldn't trust them. So why discuss Jonathan? Shaki, let him be on the back end.
They're actually encouraging him not to be deceived that people will abandon him midway.
No, what would you do if I insisted believe that Philip, if Philip run against me, he will lose woefully.
Yes.
So
I will even wish that to come.
Exactly. So if they accept it, since the what they're trying to do is just to discourage Jonathan, you cannot compare these two governments. And Nigerians don't see. A lot of lies were thrown out.
All right. I think
that's why Professor Jerigana said Jonathan left office 12 years ago. Nigeria has seen Jonathan's performance. They've seen the government for the past 8 years. That Buhari did 8 years and Tinubu have done is 2 years. So it is clear who did better.
The difference is clear. All right. 7up says the difference is clear. To the obedience, if Jonathan happens to come out, we don't know where you would be going, but I do know that Jonathan has a base across Nigeria. There's no doubt about that. And to the presidency, if you think Nigeria believe that Jonathan is the cause of the economic woe of today, if I'm you, I will say, Jonathan, come. I will contest against you because I will win you easily. And that becomes the easiest way for Asiwaju to have the second term. This is the News Insight. Until we're back.